Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Godzilla Roundtable. As always, I am your host, Mulder, otherwise known as Faye, and I am joined by
Ton, also known as Matt.
And Crash Fan, or just Crash.
Crash is still being secretive.
I have no name.
Anyways, so for episode 13, it's quite fitting that we have unlucky number 13 for the 13th Godzilla film.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. actually.
Because this time we're covering the infamous Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Megalon, which came out in 1973. So there's a lot of threes in this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into the rating here. And I have a feeling this will be an interesting rating session. Crash, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I feel like I have to give it 2 ratings. So as a as a funny movie to watch, it was really funny. Probably like 8 out of 10. But on an actual movie basis, probably 5 or 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because I was thinking back, I do feel like I liked it more than Rage, probably just because it was funny to watch. So I give it a 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Okay. Ton, what would you rate Godzilla vs. Megalon?
Yeah, I'm with Crash. It's about a 4 or 5 out of 10 for me. Probably like 4.5, honestly.
I can't believe it. For once, I'm the most negative person on the Godzilla movie here. Because this, to me, is a 3 out of 10. I think this movie is bad.
Damn.
I don't like this movie. Oh, boy. This movie. Oh, boy. Okay, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
I guess we should start by saying Jun Fukuda is back again. This would be his second to last Godzilla film. And this movie is where you really see that budget issue I mentioned last time really play in. Because at this point, the Japanese film industry had basically entirely collapsed by this point in time. And you can certainly see that in how this movie looks.
That was something I forget. What was the last one we watched? I think with a lot of stock footage. Was that
Gigan?
Yeah, I thought the stock footage thing was kind of like it's kind of there, but this one took it to like a whole new level of stock footage.
Yeah, the stock footage in particular, which I guess I'll talk about first. The stock footage use in this movie is fucking terrible. It's abysmal. Like, they don't even try to hide it. Like, there's shifts from day to night. Very obvious usage of King Ghidorah and Gigan stock footage. The worst case,
it's like grainy all of a sudden.
Yeah. And then I think like the worst example of it is they don't even have the money to have Megalon like actually destroy the planes. It just shows Gigan's claws very obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of those editing choices were very sus.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the stock footage? Even though Crash kind of got into it a little bit. No problem.
You go ahead, Crash.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty bad in this one. I feel like stock footage works best if you're trying to do it in the context of like referencing like the previous movie. But like here it's not even well done. Like they pick different quality clips, like I said, different color grading. Like, it cut to like the tanks and it wasn't like 240p, it was like so grainy. And they would cut back to like the actual new footage and it's like, oh, it's much cleaner now. It doesn't match your flow well at all. It's super messy. Ugh.
It's very egregious.
Yeah.
Ton, what do you think of the stock footage in this film?
Yeah, this is definitely the most egregious use of stock footage I've seen in a Godzilla movie. Usually, like I've said a lot of times, I don't mind stock footage too much, but it has to be a degree of effort with it, and there was just not a lot of good, clean editing to work in this stock footage, and it just makes the movie look really awkward at times.
And see, like, the thing is, in Gigan, while that also had a lot of stock footage, with Gigan, I feel like they made an effort to at least hide it because they would try to make it look like it was nighttime in the stock footage scenes. Here, that's just not there.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't even care to try to color grade it.
It's really
to match nighttime.
It's really it's so in your face. And I feel like anybody, even who like hasn't seen all the previous ones, would tell like That definitely was not new footage.
Yeah, because it's just so overt and obvious.
And there's so much of it. It's just like, did you guys
Mhm.
have any budget to do like new scenes besides the final fight?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like you never want to like criticize people too hard, but it's like, oh, hey, they should have scaled it back a little on the
Yeah.
scale if they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, and I guess that's that thing which I'll just get into now before I get back behind the scenes stuff. I feel like the scale of this movie is really bad. Like it feels so small scale for a movie that's not trying to be small scale. Like for example, I know Crash, you're not big on this movie, but me and Ton enjoy it. All Monsters Attack is a very small scale film, but it keeps the story appropriately small scale.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not trying to be a big story. But then you have Godzilla vs. Megalon, which has a fucking underground civilization coming from beneath the ground to take over the Earth. And it feels so small and tiny.
What do they call the Seatopia?
Yeah, yes, Utopians. with the Easter Island statues.
That was my favorite part of it. I love seeing them all. It was so stupid. It was hilarious.
So just for some context for anyone listening, our friends group has a inside joke about the Moye emoji. So having that show up was just hilarious to us.
Multiple times too. I didn't even get like context. Like, it just showed up and like there was.
I think the implication is that they're the Easter Island people who went underground. But a lot of stuff in this movie is not very overt or well explained.
Yeah, things kind of just happen. It's very.
And I.
Very good.
And I think part of the issue is that this movie didn't. I feel like the movie, from what I heard at least, did not start out as a Godzilla film. It started out as a solo venture that for Jet Jaguar that got Godzilla and Gigan added in, and it certainly feels like that.
I was thinking about it. I was like, Mulder's comment about that makes a lot of sense. Just like about everything that happens, Godzilla has like no presence in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just kind of shows up at the end and in the beginning, to be honest.
Yeah. The beginning's really stupid. Because it kind of got
go on.
Sort of excited. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a big change, so like destroying Monster Island. But that has no repercussions. Like
nothing happened because of it.
I know they blew it up. Oh, sorry, go time.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's like it doesn't even come up in the plot, really.
Yeah.
I thought like Godzilla was gonna be mad or something. Like, I don't know, get revenge or do something. But then later on, we cut to him. He's just like chilling. Like he's found a new island, I guess, or just standing on the wreckage. It plays no part. It just happens for no reason.
Yeah, it's really only there to try to be like, oh look, nuclear testing is bad, but they don't do anything with this plot at all. Like even later on when they do the stupid moral at the end, it's like, yeah, see, guys, shouldn't do it. But it's like, wait, what? How do you even know what the Utopians are after? It's like it's just really weird, and I don't like it because they don't really do anything with it. With either the Monster Island destruction or the themes about nuclear testing being bad, which we've had before.
It almost feels like they're kind of trying to make like another an Astro Monster or Destroy All Monsters scale movie, but it just does not have anywhere close to budget or quality. Even writing wise, the Seatopians are very lame. Like, even though I was mad on the Destroy All Monsters aliens, at least they had like an interesting idea and aesthetic to them.
Yeah. And
like, weren't just a bunch of weird people wearing white clothes sitting in a moye.
Togas and stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of the human cast, like I said, this is only Godzilla film without female characters, which is very, very peculiar. I don't know why that is.
It wasn't until you mentioned that I realized, almost every Godzilla film so far has had a prominent main female character, which is really cool to see. And when you mentioned, it was like, wow, there is none in this one except for the girls in the bikini. He's dancing.
Yeah.
Zootopia.
Because this movie is also surprisingly very horny.
It is very horny.
Which is very surprising. I'll never get over the fact that there's just fucking porn in that one truck.
Very funny.
It's like they rented a truck and then didn't bother to tell the truck driver to get rid of his posters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was a movie intended for kids because Jet Jaguar was designed by a child.
Somebody made a mistake.
I know. they really dropped the ball. I feel like, honestly, if they had just done a Jet Jaguar movie, it probably would have been like better, honestly, because most of the issues come up with the fact that they tried to shove Godzilla in, and they made a whole really plot forced in the world. If it was just Jet I guess that's the reason they put movies to sell, I guess. But if it was just Jet Jaguar, it probably would have been just an average movie.
It would have been at least like less egregious, I feel like, because this movie really damaged Godzilla's reputation. But I'll get to in a bit. And it's like, this movie does not need Godzilla in it, because he's basically just a plot device. Jet Jaguar gets him to help fight Megalon, and that's it.
Yeah.
He has no role or presence in this movie.
Yeah, it's very almost kind of silly in a way. Like,
yeah.
Although we got a really nice Godzilla design from it, I would say.
He's so cute. I like design. People used to not like it, but people have been growing on it, and I like that because I think the design's really fun and cute. It's thankfully in two much better movies coming up with Mechagodzilla and Terra Mechagodzilla.
I like the expressive. They're much more.
Same.
Expressive, obviously. They're cute.
Yeah. It makes them look a lot more friendly.
Yeah, that fits the
which fits the heroic Godzilla that we have.
And going back to the human cast, I feel like the human characters here are the most nothing boring human characters we've had yet, which is saying something because the Sora Monsters and Ghidorah didn't have particularly strong casts either, but at least they were tolerable and not flat out dull and boring like the human cast is here. And this movie focuses so much on them is the other thing. Like most of the runtime is devoted to them.
Yeah, this is probably like the most lifeless human cast I've seen in a Godzilla movie yet. It's like you have this scientist, inventor, his friend, and then his little brother. But there's not really any like exploration for why they matter beyond the fact that the older brother made Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
Even then, like he barely even gets to use Jet Jaguar because he gets stolen. So it's like,
I didn't hate them, but they were very boring. Like you're saying, they didn't explore them much. Their motivations really they're just kind of there, just to have a human. Just to have human characters. It's per usual.
And it doesn't help that there's so much human action scenes in this for some reason. Like the fact that we got 2 car chases, not just one, but 2 car chases, and like spy hijinks where like they're beating up the Zootopian agents. It's just really weird and unneeded, I feel like.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
The car chases were really funny, especially the second one, where the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's escaping, and it's like then the truck starts falling, and then it's like a motorcycle guy starts falling.
Oh! Wait, Crash, you mix it up. First, he goes after the chase after the truck
chasing after
because he finds out. Because he finds out from the Zootopian guy that he beats up that's where the brother and his little brother are. So he goes after them, and then a car starts chasing him, and then a motorcycle starts chasing them.
He just goes off road, just like the fucking desert. He's like just driving anywhere. It's GTA. It was really funny.
So funny.
And it's like there's like no rhyme or reason to this movie. It's just very stuff happens, and it's like it just feels cheap too.
Yeah,
it does. It's a very odd.
Also, we already kind of talked. Well, I guess we talked about the main villains, but sub villains.
Oh, go on.
Really
yeah,
funny. They were like nothing. They didn't say like anything. They were really pathetic. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
looks like Karl Marx. He doesn't say anything. And he gets thrown on the truck. And the other guy, it's awful here. Just fucking runs down and kills that rock. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Told him.
And that was after Crash, after the little brother shot a fucking model airplane into his face and gouged his eyes out by it.
That was such a random bit of gore. It was almost.
I know, right?
I know.
It's just, oh god, this movie. Okay, let me try to cycle this back because, of course, this is getting as chaotic as that movie is. Megalon. What did you guys think? I'll let Ton go first.
All right, Megalon is actually an awesome kaiju.
Yeah,
I really love the design. Giant bugs. I've come around since COVID. Giant bugs are cool, and he's more of a beetle than the average giant bug, and beetles are kind of underused in giant bug monster stuff. So he has a cool aesthetic. He has cool powers. I just wish he was in a better movie. It could actually have some effects because it's he has the drills, but they don't do a drilling effect.
Yeah,
he has lightning, but they just reuse King Ghidorah footage.
Yeah,
and this is just
he can fire a fucking grenade, but the grenade feels so random.
Also, he has cool beetle wings that come out from under his carapace.
Yeah,
but they don't flap because not like Mothra's wings flapped all that much, but it would look cool at least.
Yeah, but the other thing is I feel like with Mothra, they flapped when they needed to, and when they didn't, she looked majestic because of it. With Megalon, it's like he's just floating.
Yeah, he's doing that Superman flying Gigan does.
Yeah. All right, Crash, what did you think of Megalon? And then I'll go.
I think Megalon looks really cool, but like Tom was saying, it's super underutilized. I like his fucking drill.
Yeah.
The only time he ever drills, I think, is when he first escapes. It doesn't even look like drilling. It looks like he's just fucking ascending through the ground, going up.
And then he used it one more time when he got his drill stuck in the rock.
Yeah, that was it. He broke it
Jet
up.
Jaguar,
sir. Like, wow, dude, that could probably fucking until up. Why don't you try that, Jet Jaguar? But it would have been cool to see that. But I guess the budget just fucked it up. And every time anybody flew this movie, it's really funny. Megalon would just open his wings and just fucking rise. There was no grace to it. They just started just fucking flying up, levitate, activate.
Yeah,
it was really silly. But I think the design looks cool, and I think they bring it back. It look really cool if they had the right budget to do all the effects.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, this is Megalon's only appearance.
Really? Oh god, that happened.
Yeah. He is in the Godzilla games though.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
That's good. I guess that's something.
Yeah, I really like Megalon's design and power set. It's just a shame that like you guys said, he's not really given the budget to work. Like in Gigan gets to do all kinds of fucking crazy shit. Like he gets to cut Ankyras up, he cuts Godzilla up, he fucking like smashes Godzilla's forehead in with his claw and his blood spurts out. Imagine Megalon getting to do that. But we don't get that because he's just goofy. That's also part of the issue too. I don't like his personality they give him. He's meant to be this god of Zootopia, but then he's fucking hopping and shit. And he's fucking really stupid.
He's just hopping around.
He can't do anything without Jet Jaguar guiding him. Meanwhile, with King Ghidorah and Gigan, they can do stuff without being controlled.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And I guess that leads us into the other new monster of this film. Well, not monster, but new character of this film. Jet Jaguar. Crash, what did you think of Jet Jaguar?
Scary smile. He likes the levitating blades. And gave the ability to grow and shrink time. I think Jet Jaguar, I haven't seen Ultraman, but even I know it's clearly a fucking Ultraman ripoff. This is all robot's colors. But he's just weird. He's not a toy, he's like a robot created by the guy, right? And I guess just to make a robot to do chores or some shit. I don't know. His whole purpose is really weird to me. And then he doesn't even fight well. He doesn't have any power. He just punches really. He's just kind of there. He's just such a meme. And he has a funny
Ton. Oh yeah, Ton. Go on. What do you think of Jet Jaguar?
Jet Jaguar, not a fan. Uh, I see what they're going for. This was the 70. Well, what year was this? Yeah, 73.
Yeah, 70s. Yeah,
This was the height of like stuff like Ultraman, also
and Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider, and I'm pretty sure anime was starting to get started at this.
Yeah,
point.
it was.
And so I could see why Toho would have wanted to try and cash in on that, but I hope they found more success with that. What was that other one they did? Zone Fighter.
Oh, that one failed just as bad.
Oh yeah, but Jet Jaguar's design is just so lame.
Yeah.
He honestly looks like a Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
his head
face. Yeah,
Yeah.
his head's creepy.
Like you can kind of tell that an elementary school student designed him.
Yeah, he's got very random colors. And it's just weird because it's like, is he a robot? Is he a mech? I I could see the concept for him being reused again, but I don't know if you ever will.
Legendary.
The funniest thing is there was an April Fool's joke Toho did. I think last year actually. It was either this. No. It was last year. Where they did a mock announcement of a Jet Jaguar movie, and that was the most. And that was the most they've acknowledged him since this movie came out.
Hilarious. Poor Jet Jaguar. That's pretty much just confirmation that we're never touching him again.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you could see Megalon show up more than you could see Jet Jaguar show up.
I hope Toho
But funny enough, Jet Jaguar...
Oh, go
on.
Toho doesn't think, like, because a monster was in a bad movie, he means, like, nobody likes the monster. I feel like it's not like...
That seems to be their mindset, unfortunately.
It's not like bad monsters, it's just bad movies, It's what you do with them.
Yeah. But funny enough though, Jet Jaguar is also in those Godzilla games with Megalon, which is interesting.
I would like that, honestly, just having all the fucking monsters. That's cool, even if they're
Yeah. And like with my thoughts on Jet Jaguar, I feel like Jet Jaguar just feels uninspired. He feels like he's in it to capitalize on the boom that was happening, because he's basically a mix of the two biggest things with Japanese kids at the time: mechs and tokusatsu heroes. Like, that's really what he is. He's a mix of like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Super Sentai, and then stuff like Mazinger Z. What else was out around this time? Because this was before Gundam.
This would be around like, I think, like Astro Boy.
Yeah, far past Astro Boy.
And what's the one Del Toro like? Gigantor.
Oh yeah, that one. This was around that time. So the mecha boom was just starting. We'll actually see that play into the next movie's antagonist because of that boom. But the Jaguar feels much less inspired. I'm not sure if it's because the kid made it or what, but I don't think that the movie does anything interesting with him either, because he just goes from being a pawn, then he gets sentient somehow, and then he loses it at the end.
Job well done.
It's just really weird. And I guess that brings us to another wasted plot point, in my opinion. Gigan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crash, what did you think of Gigan's return?
I think he needs a Ghidorah to guide him, because he was not doing it so well here.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned it, but he was very like in this one. It seems like he was like messing up Godzilla super hard last movie. It's fucking him up.
Yeah.
But here it's like he's getting tripped over and like, in the face and knocked out like super easily. And also, like you said, just really forced. All of a sudden they're like, oh shit, I guess we know there's like nebula carnage guys. Let's hit him up. They let us borrow Gigan. And then like, yeah, sure, why not? Then he shows up and then he just dips after he gets beat up. It's really funny. Although actually, didn't they fucking like break his arm? It's really messed up.
Yeah.
It's really funny too. They straight up bully him and beat him up and they send him running away.
It's really funny how Gigan's appearances go. First, he's really cool. He should show Godzilla. Then here, Godzilla and the Jaguar fucking break his arm and take his lunch money. And then his next appearance, he fucking dies.
Oh, poor guy. Yeah.
Because it's Zone Fighter is his next appearance, and in his episode there, Zone Fighter flat out kills him, and that's it.
That's what he needs to get.
And the funniest thing is King Ghidorah showed up in Zone Fighter too, and King Ghidorah beat Zone Fighter in that actually.
Oh wow!
Which really shows how much poor Gigan just gets fucking dunked on. Anyways, Ton, what did you think of Gigan in this?
Now this has not been the first time Showa has had an old monster come back for like a special appearance and stuff, but this is definitely the time where it feels the most out of nowhere and egregious. Like Crash said, it's just like there's no build up to Gigan or any like hint around. The Cetopians are just like, oh, let's call our buddies the Nebula M aliens who are still around for some reason.
Yeah, I think they're doing all right.
Yeah.
So they just send out Gigan. Like, I mean, I guess there's some kind of rent Uber kaiju service. This Gigan just teleports to Earth and starts fighting.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like the weaker effects and stuff just makes it so Gigan isn't as cool in this movie as he is in versus Gigan. So it's just kind of a waste.
That reminds me, they reused the Gigan scene. You know, it's like slicing into the shoulder. It's like nighttime in that scene. It's really dark. And it cuts back to stage hunting.
Yeah.
That was like one of the most obvious scenes. It's like just a shift in day and night.
Yeah. And like for me, Gigan just feels so forced. And I think part of the issue is that this movie was filmed in 3 weeks.
Really?
And they did not have a finished script for this movie. Jun Fukuda finished the script. And you could tell that this movie was just a mess, production-wise. And really, that leads me into the next kind of a shame. Megalon, for a time, was one of the most prominent Godzilla movies in America. And that really what caused the reputation of Godzilla to be tarnished for so long. Because this is not, even if you enjoy it as a funny movie, this is not Godzilla's best effort at all.
Yeah.
Like, especially during the times where anything that came from Asia was mocked and derided because of it. This especially, like, basically fulfilled confirmation bias of, oh, look, the stuff they make in Japan is cheap, silly shit. Don't take it seriously. Yeah, Godzilla's so fucking stupid. And I think that's part of why Toho does not like dressing stuff that started in this movie, like Megalon and Jet Jaguar, because it took Toho. I honestly would say, Ton, you'd probably have more memories of Godzilla around this time. I feel like it took until Godzilla 2013 to really fix Godzilla's reputation. Even though I know 98 partly contributed to that, I think Megalon also played a big part. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, like, you mean like in the West?
Oh, no, in the West, specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically Godzilla vs. Megalon got a huge marketing campaign when it got released over here.
It also had a really funny poster where Godzilla...
Yeah, let me grab it.
Yeah, Godzilla and Megalon are fighting on a certain iconic building in New York.
Yeah. Because that was a capitalized off of no, the Twin Towers.
Oh my god, they're not even in America in this movie.
Yeah.
Super weird.
There's like
they really advertised the hell out of this movie.
Also, yeah, like
and it used to show.
Not Jet Jaguar is not even anywhere on this post.
Yeah.
That's a really.
It looks like they played it up as like this big epic movie. They even like sent out like pins and like flyers for this movie. Like they did a lot of advertising for it, and then that's what people went and saw.
That's really cool, but like why this movie? Why not?
Yeah. I know, or like because Godzilla used to have like a modicum of success in like drive-in stuff.
Yeah.
Like as a B movie. And King of the Monsters not the 2019 one, the edit of the edit of Gojira was really successful for its time. But then this movie kind of tanked what people thought of Godzilla. Like, I'm not going to say Godzilla was like as like high art or anything back then, but people took it about as seriously as they would say like King Kong, like Harryhausen and stuff.
Yeah.
After this, though, people thought of it as cheap and silly because let's be honest, Megalon is fucking cheap and silly.
Yeah.
And if that's all you knew Godzilla for, of course you'd hear Godzilla and think that. Like, you had no reason to think otherwise. And I think that's kind of the shame of Godzilla vs. Megalon is the harm it did to the franchise in the West that took until literally Godzilla 2014 to start to recover.
I guess because the other ones haven't gone as wide of like. I guess it's partly because Legendary was like done by an American studio, but I guess because of that, like that was like the only one to get like such a big, wider release. Like,
yeah.
Like, look, Godzilla, it's cool. I guess the other ones have.
Yeah, basically the only two after the Showa era that got theatrical releases was Godzilla. Oh yeah, 98, but that's an American one. The Japanese ones was Godzilla 1984 and Godzilla 2000.
Yeah.
And 2000 bombed because of 98, so not a lot of people saw it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so it was a combo of Megalon and 98, I feel like.
Poor Godzilla had it rough.
And then 2014 came and saved it. But I think that's kind of where Megalon really damaged the franchise. It's also one of only 2 Godzilla films that were part of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And a lot of people watched that show and got their idea of Godzilla from that show as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is rough.
What was the other one they watched? I guess the one I haven't seen.
Oh, no, you have seen it. Ibra. They did Ibra on it.
Do they like Ibra?
No, but I think Ibra was just kind of randomly chosen because the older dubs weren't the best either. And Ibra is definitely one of the more outlandish Godzilla films, even though I like it.
You know, I kind of missed the islands. It's been a while. Just thinking about it.
It's funny you mention that, Crash, because we're back on an island next time.
Well, what do you know? I can't wait. But yeah, so I guess it's really easy to see how this one just fucked up. It was rap like that. Like
yeah.
I never recovered from. Wow. I guess even was this movie edited for the Western release?
Yeah, it was. They took out a lot of stuff to make it G-rated.
Was it not? They take out the porn?
I'm pretty sure that's actually what they took out. Yeah, because let me see. This is everything that got taken out.
Because like I know other ones have gotten extensive reworkings. So like, was this one's plot like changed or whatever like that?
It wasn't changed, but they removed a lot of stuff that makes them not make sense.
Oh no, no! They killed what? They removed the scene of Karl Marx.
Yeah,
that's like the funniest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at this. They got rid of a lot of random stuff.
So it's
the part where the kids and this Ethiopian agent being killed by the boulder. What?
So a lot of this stuff does not even make sense on top of it.
Yeah.
So you're left with an incomprehensible film that was already cheap. That was already cheap and not great as it is.
Mm-hmm. Those are some weird editing choices.
They really are. That actually makes me really glad that I've stuck to our subs only watch, because imagine watching this dub. This is the version on HBO Max.
I think
on top of it.
Throw out a clip and just fall out. Would not enjoy this movie.
Crash would have given it a 0-10.
0 out of 10. That was the best part. I will say though, they brought back my classic line of fucking monsters looking over cliffs and peeking over. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, Megalon does it.
Hey, just looking over. They all get scared from the way.
And there's also a reused Godzilla jumping from
I
a cliff
I was
scene.
about to be. They brought it back. I was like, that's a reuse. Does not count.
Yeah, it's from they reused the one from Ibra when he does the cannonball.
That's good. But yeah, so now I get more context for why this movie was so damaging. So even beyond just its poor quality, just what it did to the series.
Yeah,
I mean, how was it received in Japan? Was it like?
No, it actually flopped in Japan.
Well, then.
It did not succeed.
Like this, I guess.
Crash, you're gonna get swarmed by the Megalon fans.
I feel like I sound super negative. I love this movie. Like, ironically, as a joke, it's fucking hilarious to watch. There's so much stuff. I have a blast watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun, but it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, like it's definitely. I feel like the only Godzilla movie that's like so bad it's good.
Yeah, for sure. Like Rage was just boring, but this one was just.
Yeah, Rage is boring. And that's the only other movie from the show era that I'm not huge on. I know, Crash, you don't like, you're not huge on Monster Attack, Destroy Monsters, or Son of, aka the Mania trilogy.
Yeah, but at least I can like see more than merits there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one is just so consistently like bad as opposed to just like boring. That's what made it so fun to watch. Like I was always having a blast at whatever stupid thing happened. Like they pulled Indiana Jones 4. Indiana Jones 4 when Megalon.
Oh yeah, when the friend of the older brother just like decides to fucking dump it, and Megalon smacks it, and it goes flying into the air.
And they're okay,
and they're fine.
They're just like a little like knocked out, but they're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
no bruises, no cuts, no bleeding, anything. They're just like laying down the floor. It was really because first they like fell, and then Megalon like punched it up really high. You think that like they're all right. Which makes me think if they got dumped in the ocean, they would have been fine.
Yeah, and then there's also what was I gonna say? Also, this has the most infamous scene of the Godzilla tail slide.
That was really funny. I love Godzilla finding new abilities. I don't know, we just unlock somebody's tail slide.
And it's really funny too how when he does the tail slide, he just goes fucking limp, like he's not even moving.
Frozen. He's just like, just
Godzilla activates his gravity engine. Just
like I could like one to one recreate the scene like Godzilla actually.
Yeah,
it doesn't move at all. It's like no articulation when he's sliding. It's so funny.
Yeah. And the other thing is also, this is the first Godzilla movie to not have Haruo Nakajima play Godzilla at all.
I feel this one is less noticeable because Godzilla has like -5 presence, which is kind of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see more. Is he gonna do it in the next one?
I feel like you might be able to notice the next two because Haruo Nakajima is not in the next two either.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I'll probably notice more there. It's actually starring Godzilla, as far as I know. I hope.
The funniest thing is though, is this is some of the most Godzilla screen time possible because the final fight is like 20 minutes.
It's super long.
But he just has no presence here.
Yeah, that's like this whole movie is written as Jet Jaguar versus like Megalon. They're like, we have no way to actually naturally integrate Godzilla into the plot, except for having Jet Jaguar show up and be like, "Hey, help me out, Godzilla." Okay, I guess. And then he just shows up and they're like, "We can ride it there." I guess. It's just a fight scene after all. So he just shows up, fights via stock footage.
And the other thing which reminds me of a point, and I know, Ton, you told me you fell asleep because of it.
Yeah.
The pacing in this movie is so bad.
Yeah, like which movie was it with the laser scene?
Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah, Destroy All Monsters had that scene where they were cutting the lasers with the laser, and it was just super long.
Yeah. Back and forth.
Yeah. Megalon was like an entire movie of that scene, just endless scenes, just going super slow, just dragging, just for absolutely no reason at all.
Like my favorite is when the fucking lake splits open from the earthquake.
Oh yeah, the beginning.
And that scene goes on forever.
Mm-hmm. It's like whoever made the miniature for that was like, you will record the entire lake scene and you will put it in the movie.
I spent a long time doing this. You were going to film it. The entire scene.
And it's just, this movie hangs on so many scenes for way too long. And that's kind of why people are like, oh, but it's fun. Like, it's kind of fun if you're watching it in, like, a group, and like we did, and you're, like, roasting it. But if you're watching the movie by yourself, oh, God, does it have pacing issues.
Yeah, I think I would get way too bored watching this by myself.
That reminds me of this fucking one-mile-per-hour like scooter rides. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Oh god, there's so many weird things in this movie too. Also, I feel like this is the worst kid actor we've had so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I thought the hetero kid was
Definitely
the best, but even he was better.
Yeah. Like, funny enough, though, this movie is definitely like, oh, yeah, Godzilla movies always have kids in them, right? Like, it's just this movie, All Monsters Attack, and then you have Hedorah. Those are the only three with kids in them.
Really?
Well, not the only ones that only have
Like
them. The only ones that have kids is, yeah.
Makes sense.
Which shows how much this movie had such an impact in America, and that's kind of a shame because of what this movie is.
Yeah.
Like you said, Crash, imagine like a good dub of Astro Monster got
I know,
it
that would have been
over
so
like
exciting.
this.
Because if they did such a big marketing push, like, honestly, that's how you sell anything anywhere, especially in the West. You just market it, you can sell even something mega niche. Like, if they did that for like Astro Monsters, that would have been amazing. That would have been a great one to like, get popular with a wide variety of monsters, good human plot, it's fun to watch. That would have been so cool, and people would be like, "Wow, Godzilla's pretty good." But then they got this one. Like, as much as I like this as a meme, like, it's not how you should represent your series franchise.
Yeah. Which is really, I think, part of why Toho got so defensive over how Godzilla was portrayed in the West.
Didn't they come with a rule like Godzilla cannot lose? No, wait, that might be something else. I forget. Reading some.
That probably is a rule, but I don't know. It seems like it makes me up something else.
I have to check. I remember reading about some franchises. They're like, this character cannot lose. Like in the official like writing guide.
Yeah. See, I know with Toho, it was that Godzilla has to be portrayed seriously. That was the rule. After this movie.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
No more dancing Godzilla.
Let me just tell you now, Crash. You're not going to get anything this lighthearted after this. Like, the next movie's still on the lighter end, but it takes itself more seriously. And then after that, you're not getting anything more lighthearted.
That's fine. I'm excited.
That's it.
That's a much more intense series, you know?
Yeah, you're going back to the serious stuff, starting with Terror Mechagodzilla. And what else was I going to say with this movie? I'm blanking. Damn it. I was going to say something. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I feel like we talked a lot about before. I guess Jet Jaguar theme song. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Jet Jaguar theme song is really funny in this. Like this is now the third Godzilla movie in a row that have a song, but I feel like the fourth actually, because All Monsters Attack had a song in the opening.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like the songs in the prior three movies are better, or at least more fitting for Godzilla. At least.
Yeah, they felt a little out of nowhere.
Yeah. It just kind of it felt like they were trying to be like, yeah, guys, look, this is the pilot for Jet Jaguar as a character in the franchise. He has a theme song. The guy's like, maybe he'll gain sentience if we need him again. And again, never shows up.
Yeah, Jet Jaguar feels like a big drop plot point in the end.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's on the weaker end. He's not even a monster. He's just a dude. He's a fucking robot man.
Yeah, he's a robot, and like you said, Crash, he doesn't even feel like metallic or robotic. Even the way like his suit bends and stuff.
Yeah, that's something I noticed.
It doesn't feel robotic.
He's walking, very light. There's like no sound. I thought you hear like metallic sound when he's flying. He's quiet. He's just like it just feels like really cheap. You know, it's a guy.
And that's because this movie was cheap as fuck.
And also when he's flying, they couldn't even put on the track. It literally looks like they tied a piece of string to him. They're just like dangling because he like swings a lot, like when he's flying around. It's so silly.
Yeah, I'm spinning in circles over Megalon.
He'll just spin in circles.
And his fucking antennae that pop out to like the wreck Megalon. Really funny.
That just looks so weird.
That's weird. Then he grows.
Yeah, out of nowhere, they're just like, "Oh wow, he could do it."
Power of.
It's like what?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. He just can't. What are their mysterious powers?
They don't even try to explain it. It's really funny how he gains sapience and then loses it again for no reason. It's just like, okay, they don't need it anymore. He doesn't have it. Yeah, it's like it's like Guy again. He can only live to fight.
Except Guy.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe it though. We're nearly done with the show era. We only have 2 more films.
Wow.
It's really exciting.
The Mechagodzilla duology.
I'm excited for Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla.
Which is really cool. Oh, go on. Sorry, Tom.
I said Mechagodzilla would be fun.
And it's really cool, too, because the Megagodzilla duology is done by the two big Godzilla directors. You have Jun Fukuda coming back for the last time, next time, and then Ishiro Honda comes back to finish off the show era, which is really fitting, seeing how he started it.
That's cool.
And next time, Crash, like I said, we're going to an island again, because the next movie is set mainly on Okinawa.
Nice.
So, do we have anything else about Megalon?
Okay, wow, Crash, taking my job here.
No, I'm just
anyways, I guess, Crash, we should update your ranking because we made that become a thing.
I like how that's just a part of the show.
Yeah. Where would you rank Megalon?
I think we fixed it last time. I don't remember if we put it on here or not. But I definitely had it above rates again, at least just because it's fun to watch. I can enjoy it in that regard. But what's my list again? Can you bring it back up?
This is it. If we go by you putting it above rates again.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh. Crash.
That's it. Yeah, I like it more than raids. And
that's fair.
Although, would it be rude if I put it above Son Because I don't know. It was really
my god!
It was funny. Like I said, it's just like my personal entertainment value watching.
That's fair. That's fair.
Although, like I said, I guess in terms of opinion as a movie, I guess definitely go rates again for sure, and maybe this is in process. I'll think about this more, but in that area,
that's fair.
Low. It's fun to watch, but I acknowledge it's not a really good movie.
Yeah. All right, that's a good lead into our closing thoughts of Crash. Do you want to give your closing thoughts on Megalon?
It was really funny. It was really bad. Megalon is a cool monster. He drills. He doesn't afraid of anything. Jet Jaguar is fucking good. And it's funny seeing Karl Marx fall. That's my final thoughts.
All right, Son, what are your final thoughts on Godzilla vs. Megalon?
Not my favorite, but if you like whole pulpier old movies, you might enjoy the charm of it. It does have charm. It's just not my favorite Showa type of charm. It kind of feels a little derivative, but overall, if you have a group of friends, watch it with them. You'll have a good laugh.
Yeah, I'll definitely say though, would not recommend this for the first time viewing.
No, not at all.
Do not start with this. For me, Godzilla vs. Megalon, if you like it, that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions. I know a lot of people have nostalgia for it because it's their first one of their first films, and I get that. But for me, I don't like this movie. I think it's cheap. I think it's rushed. I think that it's kind of, unfortunately, a symbol of where Toho was at the time, just financially and just to say the Japanese film industry. It's very symbolic of a lot of stuff wrong with it. If you enjoy stuff like Manos, The Hands of Fate, or Plan 9 from Outer Space, I would definitely recommend Godzilla vs. Megalon. It has that kind of vibe to it. It's definitely the bad one, quote unquote, of Godzilla, in my opinion. And that's about all I can say for Megalon. Once again, thank you for listening. Next time we'll be starting, of course, the Mechagodzilla duology. I'm very excited for that. So thank you for listening and have a good night.